Good day, YouTube pipe smokers. Prairie Piper here on Thanksgiving Monday in Canada. I know I already did a video this weekend, but I just thought sitting out here the last couple hours, smoking some haunted bookshop, drinking some coffee, and decided I just felt like making another video. I've been thinking about this one for a while too, but just decided to gonna do it today. So I'm just gonna show you my little corner of my pipe smoking world, my little corner where I smoke. Um, I've always found it very interesting to see when other guys share their little abodes, whether it's some of you guys got sheds, some of you guys got little dens, so and I really enjoy watching those. So thought I'd show you where I light up my bowls and drink my coffee, 12 months of the year. So like I said, smoking some haunted bookshop. Haunted bookshop for me is one of the go-tos when I just want to stuff a bowl, smoke the shit out of it. It's haunted bookshop. It's not overly sophisticated, not overly complex. It's sweet, musty, nutty, earthy, and I can just smoke two bowls back to back and not think about anything. Really enjoy it. So whether it's the cake or whether it's the ribbon, I enjoy them both. Mm. Goes real good with coffee too. So I kind of did a trial run here. So I'm going to detach the camera and hopefully the lighting's okay and the sound. Like I said, I did a bit of a trial run, so I think this is going to work. So just give me a sec here. I'll try to keep it as steady as I can, and then sometimes the light has to adjust a bit. So it's got to keep my eyes on the screen here. So that's my rocking chair, and on the far side of that you can see is a blue Como pipe stand there, ceramic pipe stand where I dump my ash and place my bowls if I need to take a break. So 99.9% of my smoking takes place right here. I don't really like smoking outside, especially if there's a wind, and that goes for cigars too. I like to be away from the elements when I smoke my pipe. I know some guys can smoke in a blizzard or smoke out on the river fishing. I can do that once in a while. I don't mind it, but I don't like the wind. Wind to me is an enemy to my cigars and to my pipe. So there's these two paintings on the wall here, and I'll find the right. See, the sun is shifted, so it's slightly different now in terms of. That's not going to work. There we go. Okay, we got the light. So that bottom portrait is of a chief named Chief Joseph. He was out on the west coast in British Columbia. And above that is Chief Poundmaker. You can see, I think, him holding his clay pipe in between his two hands there, just above his waist. Interesting story about these. So I like to go to a lot of garage sales in and around where I live here in rural Manitoba, in the Interlake. And the Interlake is kind of on the cusp of Manitoba is portions of half of Manitoba, especially out east, with the provincial border with Ontario, is the Canadian Shield, and the Canadian Shield bleaches into Manitoba and starts to break up about halfway in. And then the middle to bottom half, southern half of Manitoba with the Saskatchewan provincial border starts to turn into prairie land. So we've kind of got a bit of both worlds with the Canadian Shield, heavy forests. The boreal forest is half of Manitoba, lots of lakes. And then as you get towards the west with Saskatchewan, you start to get into the prairies. So these, I was on a garage sale hunt and came across these two portraits. I'd bought some stuff, some tins of tobacco, empty tins, old tins of tobacco from this guy, and he actually had some old pipes too, kind of garbage ones, but I still, they were like 50 or 60 years old, so I took them anyways. And we started talking, really nice guy, probably spent like an hour or two with the guy. And I don't know how, but we ended up in like the back of his old barn. And he's a woodworker, got a lot of real cool woodworking stuff. And he had like 6 to 8, 10 maybe of these portraits. I'm like, these are super cool. I'm like, would you sell these? He wasn't overly excited about selling them after I found out that he'd done them. This was, if you saw this guy, probably just an old farmer, you would not think that, I don't want to insult the guy like that he was capable of doing this, but I guess, don't judge a book by its cover, right? I mean, when I heard that he did them, I was like, wow, this is incredible. Now he copied them. They're not originals. He didn't come up with the images. He copied the images, but did an incredible job. He did. They're on plywood, and then he made the frames. He did everything. He coated them in some kind of lacquer so they don't fade. But I was enamored with them. I love this kind of stuff. So I asked him if he'd be willing to sell them. He hummed and hawed. He was having this garage sale all summer. So I said, well, why don't I come back in a week or two? Excuse me. And you can let me know what you think. So he said, okay, yeah, I'll sleep on it. Went back 2 weeks later, and he decided to sell me both these two. He had one of sitting bull that I wanted, but he wouldn't part with it. And I didn't want to pressure the guy. I mean, I'm not into that. If he wants to sell them, cool. If he doesn't, then that's fine too, because they obviously had some sentimental value to him. But he did part with these two. I think they were $90 a piece, and I love them. I love this kind of artwork. One thing when you get onto the rural areas of most places, right, there's this respect for the land, a respect for the people that came before us, the settlers, the indigenous population, and the farming communities out here. So I like to kind of have those pieces of history around me. So that's why they're here in the smoking corner. As we go up top here, there's an Iron Maiden scarf there from their Somewhere Back in Time World Tour in 2008. I saw them in Calgary at the Saddle Dome, and that was an amazing concert. Then in 2010 in Winnipeg, the Final Frontier Tour in Winnipeg, and the North American Tour, which I believe was the largest tour North America Maiden ever did. That was 2012, and that was made in England. That was also in the Winnipeg Arena. Or I guess what would have been called the Bell MTS Center at the time. Incredible concerts. And I'm going to show you, I know the sun is blocking this view, but in the winter, in the next 2.5 months, I'm going to do a winter video for you guys. This window will be completely iced up, and you'll hear the wind whistling through the frame. And I'll actually take you out into the elements there once winter hits, to give those that are below the 49th parallel enough not to really experience much of a winter what it can be really like up here in the rural areas of Canada. So I'm going to close this door now, and we're going to lose a bit of light, but I do think, like I said, I did a trial run here, and I think it's going to work out okay. So let's just close that. Let the light adjust a bit, and so there's the smoking chair. There's the two chiefs and some paintings of buffalo on the right that actually my buddy does. He's a painter, does some pretty cool work. There's the door. Here's see, why is it going out of focus now? That's the tool chest. And then to the left here, we have, see, it never did this before. Do I need more light? Is that the problem? So coming in here is, there we go, it's focused. Some tobacco tins, nothing specific, just any kind of random tins I put up here. It's my little smoking corner. So you can see various tins in there. You can see a sketch there done of the bison, the hare, and then the mountain sheep from the Eric Noring line, the hunting series. Those 3 pipes, I took those, I laminated those, and then I placed them up here So it might just kind of enhance the smoking corner. As we go across to our right here, two paintings by Alan Lee, Lord of the Rings, well, Hobbit specifically. Up top we have another Iron Maiden flag, 5x3. Those are hard to come by now. I paid like $10 for this when I was like a teenager. I mean, I know that was a while ago, but these things are like $50 now, and I mean they're see-through. They're just really cheap polyester. You can see right through them. I don't know why they're so expensive now. Moving over here a little bit more. Again, there's kind of my setup here. This is where I do all my business. I mean, this is the prep. This is the preparatory tobacco area before I sit down. Although I've got the bench there. Middle Earth. A couple old license plates there. One from Alberta when I used to live in Red Deer. I'm a Liverpool fan, so for those of you that are fans of English football, you'll be aware of King Kenny, Steven Gerrard, Jurgen Klopp on the far right there. There's the provincial flag of Manitoba. I'm just going to zoom in here to this picture. That's my mom and both my grandpas smoking cigars. They used to smoke White Owls and Colts, wine-tipped Colts. They had this little plastic white tip. I don't know if they're still around or not, but they were kind of a staple back here in Canada for the last few decades. And that's in the late 70s on the Red River in Winnipeg. They used to have this big riverboat cruise that you could go and, you know, have roast beef dinner on and dance and enjoy the night, like a pretty big ferry boat. They don't do it anymore. It's gone now. They do still have boats that will do tours of the Red River, you know, in particular the Forks in Winnipeg. But it's not as big. It's a much smaller boat now. You know, they don't serve dinner on it. It's kind of sad because that used to be kind of a big staple back in the 80s and 90s. People would go on this riverboat, go up and down the Red River, the historic Red River, and you know, like I said, put your dancing shoes on and go out some food and have fun. There's Elvis creeping in the photo there. He was always a hog for the spotlight. Up top here, just again some random tins, nothing specific. You know, there's no reason I haven't selected any, you know, my best brands. They're just out here just to kind of help with the ambiance and the look and feel of my little tobacco corner. Second shelf there, again, just more tins, lighters, cigar lighters, ashtrays, cigar box, cigar ashtray. Again, just some more paraphernalia that I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with. A couple of Zippos there. And lastly, here is what every Canadian needs if you're going to smoke in the winter. And this is a contractor's heater. So I do have an insulated garage. I'll start firing this baby up probably in the next couple of weeks, heading into November, and it'll be heavily used in December, January, and February when we plunge into winter. And I will do a video in late December, maybe over the Christmas holidays, and into January, just to kind of give you a look and feel of what we Canadians up here in rural Canada have to deal with once January and February roll around. So I'm going to pause this just to put this back and give you my conclusion here. So there you have it. That's my smoking corner where I spend much of my time, you know, a couple hours a day. I don't know what the YouTube copyright stuff was like, so I don't know if anything I looked at, you know, or anything that I showed, you can't show it's copyrighted. I don't know, but I mean, I'm sure YouTube will let me know if that's the case, and I might have to do this video again in a different light. But there you go. That's kind of where I smoke my pipe, and it's vastly different now than it will be in January. But I'll show you that when January comes around. I think the lighting was okay. It's funny, when I did the test run, the lighting was fine, and there was no issues with focusing. But of course, you know, once you go live, guess what? That happens. But You know, I called Ridley, but he was busy. And Spielberg never returned my calls. So I don't know, you know, I was trying to get some of those guys to help me out. I don't know if I said something wrong to Spielberg in the past. I don't know. I called Lucas. Lucas was like, man, I don't make movies anymore. I just collect checks. I was like, okay, fair enough. So you got me, and that's hopefully that's enough. But hope you enjoyed that. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you guys again on Saturday. Take care.